Hey folks, Mike here, and decided this is a video I've been thinking about doing for a long time, and I'm just now getting around to it. Reason is, it took me a while to put this list together. Um, and what I'm going to be doing tonight is listing my top contemporary Christian albums. These are the albums that I go to when I'm feeling down or just just need to connect with the Lord, and the songs on these albums bring me a little closer. Um, and as I'm going through this list, I'll be naming the albums and the artists, but I'll also be giving you like a sampling of which tracks to check out. You know, at least in my personal opinion, what are some of the top tracks on the albums? So without further ado, let's get down to it. First one for me has got to be Rich Mullins' Songs. Now, this right here is the greatest hits album of some of Rich's best songs. Yes, Awesome God is on here, but Rich had a lot. He had a lot of great songs. Awesome God was just one of them. And unfortunately, when it comes to Awesome God, most people only know the chorus. They don't know all the lyrics. The same can be said of another song of Rich's, Sometimes by Step. Um, Again, it's a case where the people know the chorus, not the whole song. And when it comes to Rich, you need to look at the lyrics because they didn't call him the poet of contemporary Christian music for nothing. But on that album, songs that I would definitely say are worth checking out. Awesome God notwithstanding. Yes, of course. But I would definitely say Elijah is a great song. Of course, Sometimes by Step. While the Nations Rage is another great one. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention a song that I heard on David Stapleford's radio show that he used to do on at LCC back in the early 90s. Song by Rich called Calling Out Your Name. This is a great song, one of his best. Um, this is we lost a true artist when we lost Rich. When he died on September 19th, 1997, for me, I feel like that is the equivalent to the Christian music world of the day the music died. When Buddy Holly, Reggie Valens, and the Big Bopper went down in that plane crash. When Rich died in that car accident on September 19th, 1997, it's pretty much the same thing. Because if you look past that point, contemporary Christian music starts taking a nosedive slowly but surely after that. The lyrics get weaker. It's just there's not enough meat on the bone after that point. Don't know why. It just seemed to happen over time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not dogging the industry. But I'm just stating fact. Well, I'm just stating what I feel anyway. Next album to be talked about, Revival in the Land from Carmen. And this one, put out in 1988, is one of Carmen's best albums. You've got some great, memorable tracks on here. First and foremost, This Blood, which is a great musical presentation of Christ's passion. Carmen describes it in vivid detail, and you really feel the emotion. You just do. Another great song is, and this one was very controversial, especially in the music video. Another great song was "A Witch's Invitation," in which Carmen has to confront a witch named Isaac Horowitz, and this song really gets across the dangers of witchcraft and things like that. Then you've got the title track, Revival in the Land, which is just, it's really spirit filled, and it's got a little bit of Screw Tape Letters feel to it, a little, which I really love. It's a great spiritual warfare track. So yeah, definitely check out Revival in the Land. I highly recommend it. And so we're coming to our next album, and that would be Eye to Eye by Michael W. Smith. Also put out in 1988. This album features some great tracks like All You're Missing Is a Heartache, the song Pray For Me, and of course, the song Secret Ambition, which is probably my personal favorite of Michael W. Smith's songs. Again, like This Blood, this focuses on Christ's time on earth and his passion. And the music video for that, which you definitely need to check out if you get the time, is basically like a promo reel for the Passion of the Christ 20 years earlier. It's insane. But yeah, check that one out. In my personal opinion, that album is a little bit better than his album before it, The Big Picture, but I am not calling The Big Picture a slouch. In fact, we'll be coming up to that one in a little bit. But before we get there, I would be remiss really if I didn't have an album by Petra on this list. In fact, I've got two albums by Petra, and I'll explain why in a second. First album is Beyond Belief, and this is one of the quintessential Christian rock albums, in my opinion. You got some great rock tracks like Armed and Dangerous, Last Days, and of course the title track Beyond Belief. But you've also got some great softer tracks like Love and Prayer. This is a solid album. John Slitt's vocals, I think, have never sounded better. Bob Hartman's just wailing on the guitar. The whole band is in fine form. And while I'm here, I'm going to go straight to the next album by Petra that I've got on my list, because this was their follow-up, and in some ways I feel like these two albums, like the songs on Unseen Power, were songs that were meant to be on Beyond Belief but didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a 2-album set. And yeah, Unseen Power by Petra is the next album on this list. Again, you've got, like I said, John's in fine form vocally. The band is in fine form again. And here you've got some really standout tracks from the gospel-inspired Who's on the Lord's Side, the Motown vibe track, Hand on My Heart, which is a great one. Then you've got songs like I Need to Hear From You. And on the rock side, you've got Sight Unseen and Destiny, amongst others. Again, these two albums I feel should be listened to back to back if you've got both of them. They just should be. So let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next album. Okay, I gotta preface this one in light of a recent controversy. Now, the album coming up right here is DC Talk's Jesus Freak. And yes, I know what Michael Tate has been found out. The things that have been found out about Michael Tate, and it's not good. All the rape allegations and things like that, not good at all. But that does not negate the music that he, Toby McKeon, and Kevin Max made. It doesn't negate this album at all. You got great tracks like their cover of In the Light by Charlie Peacock. Another great track is the album closer, Mind's Eye. And of course, the title track, Jesus Freak, is simply amazing. And also, you need to check out the music video for that one because that was directed by the guy who directed Nine Inch Nails' music video for Closer. It's pretty strong stuff. And I feel that 1994 release from them is a solid album all around. I'll put it this way, the song What If I Stumble, which is on that album, which talks about being in the spotlight and what would happen if you should stumble some way and fall out of favor, is almost eerily prophetic. Now, especially since Michael Tate is on the vocals a good bit on that one. So, but still, give the album a listen. Don't let the current controversy with Michael, destroy it for you. None of us like what's going on, but unfortunately it is. And now we're coming back to another album by Michael W. Smith, The Big Picture, released in 1986. This one is so 80s, you can feel it. But it's 80s in a good way. And it's got some of the most experimental tracks, sound-wise, I've heard in a long time. You've got a song that definitely feels relevant today in Wired for Sound. It's basically about media and, the world we live in and how things can get distorted. Then you got, for a lighter track, Rocket Town, which is just a stone cold classic. And you've also got tracks like The Last Letter, which addresses teen suicide. Now that's risky. But man, is it a great track. No lie. And there's a lot of other good tracks on this album. But it is definitely worth checking out. It is quintessential CCM and one of Michael W. Smith's best. I still consider Eye to Eye to be slightly better than it, but not by much. And I consider both of these albums to be better than the two albums that he had that crossed over into mainstream, Go West Young Man and Change Your World. I don't hate those albums, but I will say Change Your World has a couple of weak tracks on it, but it's not horrible. And so now we're moving on to another twofer from one particular group, and that is Whiteheart. First album I'm going to mention is their album Powerhouse. Of course, you got the title track, which is really amazing and well worth your time. But you've also got ballads like Desert Rose, where Rick Florian's vocals are just great. And also a really stupendous rock song in Independence Day. It's just a barn burner. Now that's one of theirs where I guarantee you'll find a good track anywhere on the album. But the other album by theirs that I'm going to mention is one where every single song made it on as a single on Christian radio, and that is Tales of Wonder. Here the band is in full effect with some of their best songs, from the love song Gabriella, which has a great lyrical quality to it. Like, you would not think this was a Christian song. Well, a song done by a Christian band listening to it. You would think it was just a regular ballad from a rock band. And then you've got the quite insane opening song for the album that to this day I am not completely sure what the lyrics mean. And that's Raging of the Moon. And literally the way it sounds and everything, this thing would fit a Howling movie or in the background of American Werewolf in London. Now, I'm not knocking that at all. I'm just saying it would fit those things. Then you've got the breakout track from this album, Unchained. Again, the lyrics are top notch. Rick is on fine vocal form. And the band is seamless on that track. In fact, I can't say what is the best track on that album because all 10 tracks are amazing. Yeah, it just comes out that way sometimes. Well, got one more to recommend, and this is another one by Carmen, and that is Addicted to Jesus. And this one, you got him paired with a couple of acts on a couple of songs. Because you've got Carmen teaming up with Petra for the song Our Turn Now, which is an amazing rock song done by the band and Carmen. And then you've got Carmen and DC Talk getting together for the title track Addicted to Jesus. Besides those two tracks, which are amazing and definitely worth your time, other tracks that I would recommend is Hunger for Holiness. 1955 is another great track. And the last song on the album, while great, I'm not sure I could listen to today. And I'll explain why. It's called The Third Heaven, and it basically is dramatizing Carmen dying and going to heaven. And of course, we lost Carmen a few years ago to cancer. Well, yeah, I just don't think I can listen to that so much anymore. At least not right now, anyway. But those are just the those are some of my top Christian albums. Give them a listen if you so choose. Um, Heck, you might find some tracks that you love, and I can definitely guarantee you're gonna get some meat, not just the wimpy praise and worship that's going on these days. Not that I have anything against praise and worship, but the music is just CCM is not as strong as it used to be now. It just isn't. Well, until next time, I'll catch you later. God bless.